The city of Regina resides within the moist mixed grassland ecoregion. As we head east of the city, we see a transitional zone towards the Aspen Parkland ecoregion. This ecoregion is characterized as a patchwork of forest and meadows.
The land has always supported us, and the children have always been taught about our connection to and relationship with nature. Today, most of us no longer live off the land directly, living as many do in urban centers. Nevertheless, our vital relationship to the land will never cease.
For the animals living here, snow is much more than just white stuff that comes and goes at the start and end of winter. Many animals and plants need just the right amount of snow in order to survive. For many, the toughest part of winter can be the very beginning or the very end, when there's little to no snow. Most animals that stay active depend on a snowy environment in order to survive. Aspen woodlands add a vertical dimension to flat prairie landscapes we all know, supporting a variety of plants, insects, fungi, and microorganisms. The food and shelter they provide are especially important in the winter, when temperatures are low and resources are scarce. Plains people lived in settlements much like this one to stay out of the snow and the harsh wind that would whip through the prairies. Several survival tactics were utilized by the people that live here, such as a moss bag to hold this baby here between the trees in order to keep it off of the ground and away from the cold, or this sled here that they would use to transport their items safely while keeping it above the snow so it wouldn't get wet.
It is imprinted in our blood and on our hearts. If this relationship ever ended, we would cease to be Aboriginal people.
I took a trip a couple minutes outside of town, and I wanted to share some of the things I saw, as well as share a creation story native to the region, as well as many regions around ours. This story is about the wintertime and how it came to be. It's a popular story told around this time of year and teaches very valuable lessons. Join me as I walk and find myself a peaceful spot outside of the wind.
Now I got a story. I'm outside here in the trees, and I want to give this creation story some light. All right, so here's how it starts. This country was not always warm in the summertime. At one time, many years ago, all the land was covered with ice and snow. Cold, icy winds blew all day and night. There were many Indian living here, and they kept themselves warm by making clothing out of animal skins. One day, Nanabush, the spirit, asked for a meeting with the chief and leaders of the tribe. Why is our country so terribly cold? Nanabush asked, and they replied with, we do not know. All we know is that the wind and cold always seem to be coming from the north. All right? So there must be a reason, is what he thought. And he wondered who will come with him to try and find the cold in the north. And the tribe leaders replied with, we dare not interfere. Because they thought if a spirit was making their country so cold, they figured that they dare not make him angry, right? Nanabush said that he's not afraid. He figured that he would travel north and find out what's going on. And they wished him great luck and told him that they wished that the Great Spirit would protect him. He gathered all his things for a journey, gathered up herbs, gathered up corn, some meat. He loved to have plenty to eat, especially when he was traveling. He walked for many days. The wind became stronger and colder, stinging his face as he kept on. Drifts of snow piled up in front of him and made it difficult for him to walk. He was forced to stop at times to rest, but not forever long. He knew he would freeze to death if he went to sleep. So after days of travel, he saw a huge creature covered from head to toe with frost and icicles. Cold, icy winds poured out of his mouth and nose. Nanabush found it difficult to stay on his feet. Now, Nanabush was very brave, but he had never come up against a beast with such forces. I must not let him know I'm afraid, thought Nanabush. Who are you? He asked. I'm the spirit of winter. Who are you that dares to invade my land? He asked Nanabush. I am Nanabush the spirit. Listen, for I have much to say to you. I will listen to what you have to say, because you seem to be brave. Don't try any tricks, like I know you do. Which is true, because Nanabush was a trickster, although he meant well a lot of the time. Nanabush asked, why don't you warm up the land? And the spirit replied with, why should I care about your people? I enjoy making cold weather. Now, Nanabush realized he would have to trick the spirit. So he proposed to him, let's be friends. What do you have to eat? I'm hungry. And he said that he eats ice and snow. Help yourself, there's lots of it. No, thank you, said Nanabush. He proposed his rice, his herbs, his corn, and his meat that tasted good. And he started a small fire and put on a pot of rice for him to cook. Perhaps I'll use a little bit of your find, Nanabush said. And he grabbed a handful of snow and put it into the pot. Soon, the food was boiling rapidly. That smells very good, said the winter spirit. May I have a taste when it's cooked? Oh, I don't think you would like it, replied Nanabush, and started to stir the food in the pot. With that, he gave him the hot food, and it warmed his soul, and it warmed up the land. After he found out he'd been tricked, he made the earth cold again, and with the cold, he brought it. But now he knew how to make warm food, so each year he would consume warm food, and it would warm the land in the springtime. And when he ran out of food, winter would come. But now that he knew what was good food, he could bring it to the land. He could provide it to the land, and that's how the seasons came about. So that's a creation story about the seasons and how, through trust and triumph, Nanabush came to the spirit of winter and created the rest of the seasons. You know, I really like that story because it talks about how Nanabush decided, you know what, I'm tired of the cold. I'm going to go change things for my people and go make a difference. And with that, I found it resonated a little bit with me because I think that in order to get what we want, I think we got to do a little bit of extra work in order to do it. The wintertime is super valuable when it comes to symbolism in the culture of people from the plains and just from anywhere in this area, maybe Saskatchewan, maybe northern USA, or throughout Manitoba and all of Canada. Wintertime is valuable because it's a period for slowing down and reflecting and looking in upon oneself. And this story directly reflects that because it involves the wintertime and how the cycle of the seasons came about, and you know, just how the winter has so much value to these people and us, you know, and how we can look at winter as a time to better ourselves and just reflect inwards upon who we are and what we can do to improve. And with that, I just want to thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something, not only about the Aspen Parkland as an ecoregion, but also learned a little something new about perhaps a creation story that you didn't know anything about.